Yes. What's going on, family? How y'all doing? Drop your locations in the chat. It's your boy Skag. I'm over here doing a little midday market recap with y'all. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Let me know how you guys are feeling. We'll get started in a minute or two. We're gonna vibe out to some more of this little dark techno we got bumping right now. But yeah, family, give me a minute or two. We're gonna get started. Alright, yes. What's going on, family? How we all feeling? Let me see who we got in the chats today. Let's see. How we all feeling? Let's go back. We got Eric. We got both Erics in the chat. Shout out to Eric Squad, as always. All three of y'all in here, I'm sure. Let's see. We got Gerson, Cody, Tammy, Danny, Taka. We got Lisa. Let's see who else we got. Let's see. We got, Brooklyn in the building, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Shout out to y'all. Cold Mitten State. Shout out Michigan, New York City, New Mexico, Orlando. We got Tampa in the building. Tuning in from work. That's all good, bro. Yeah, we are back. This beat gets... yeah, this beat crazy, bro. This is a a new little playlist I'm trying. I don't know, it's called Dark Techno. I don't know, I messed with it though. It's nice. It's lit. I feel like I'm gonna hack into the Matrix listening to this. No cap. That's exactly how I feel. We about to tap in. It's your boy Neo. About to get you guys right. Let's see, we got King Sterlo in the house. I need help calculating risk on NAS. My position from earlier is too small. Eric, you gotta tell me with what broker and or prop firm you're with, and then I can help you out, bro. But let's see. Let's turn down the Matrix hacking music a little bit more real quick. Let's also get some charts up, boys and girls, for that matter. Let me see, how y'all feeling? You guys take any trades today? Right? Let me know. Anybody do any trading today? Today was the first session of the Profit Society premium sessions. Or for those of you guys that are premium members over at profitsociety.co, we did the first session today. It was a pretty boring session, can't lie. Markets were a little iffy. We did get the opportunity to make about 35 pips. Nothing to write home about, but profit is profit, blue is blue, which is super nice for us. But I'm curious if any of you guys caught anything different. I mean, we caught it on EU. That was the one trade. I'll go over that in a second with you guys, give you guys some value about why we entered that trade. And you guys could also see a NASDAQ setup that I have here. We didn't execute on this, and it's kind of really just been playing around. But this is a trade you guys could take as well. But let me see what you guys were taking in the chats today. Let's see. We got somebody was Timmy was in GU. Rick said he was nothing. That boy Dom said AU shorts. Okay, my guy. That's the same idea I had on EU. We probably see the same thing, my guy. Wouldn't doubt it. USD CAD, Euro GBP, and gold all in profits. Let's go. I love it. Let's go. Sky, we need the playlist on the community. Hey, I'll drop it for you. You want it? I'll drop the playlist for you. I'll go drop this in the premium. I'll say this was asked for, just so people are not like, what the hell is this dark techno stuff? There you go. Y'all can take a look at that. Let's see. NAS, gold, GU, and USD Swiss. Okay. Not too bad. So listen, family. I wanted to go over the trade that we took this morning on EU. As always, like, we want to give you guys a little bit additional value, even if you guys are not a part of the premium community. But yeah, we took shorts this morning. We entered around this area here, and we actually ended up exiting. Clearly, we didn't get the full move that I was anticipating, even though we still might. We basically just captured this little leg here into the news. So yeah, it was about 35 pips. We partialed out, went break even. Clearly our break even got hit. Trade still looks pretty valid. You probably, again, could still trade in this direction. Just giving you a little bit better of an entry. At this point, I probably would want a little bit higher. But, the day has been super choppy, so maybe best to leave this alone for tomorrow. But we were looking to the sell side, basically just based off some of the 4-hour structure that we have here. We do have a really nice order block sitting in the market after, a sweep of liquidity. And we were just playing, the retest to this. So the retest had kind of happened before we were able to get on stream, which was, kind of annoying. But, what we did have was this opportunity here. The market had kind of spiked up. And because I believe the market was, already in a state of retesting that OB, we decided to kind of just hop in, with kind of like low risk. And again, we just exited partial profits after we cleared the lows off the news. Pretty basic and easy trade. Nothing really, again, too amazing about it. The market today, very choppy. A lot of stuff happened during London. Stuff that's out of my control. But easy 35 pips for the day, pretty nice. NASDAQ was the only other setup I was particularly looking at, which again may even still work out. Again, just retests to, 1-hour order block structure. Again, I do still think some of this 15-minute structure needs to be retested. And you guys can see the day NASDAQ had is just, again, a mess, right? Had a little bit of a rally, took out some liquidity, but overall has just been a dud ever since. Could it potentially still fall from here and give me what I want, this deeper correction? Yeah, absolutely. But again, pretty choppy and annoying day overall. So, you know, that pretty much sums up what we went over in the premium chat. There were a few other things we looked at and discussed. We discussed GJ. We didn't really execute anything on this though, and I'm still looking for lower levels and a few things out of this. Ultimately, you guys do know I am still looking at this 162 level before we really commit to sells. But yeah, it's really just been a mess of a day, to be honest. So I wanted to come on here to see how, you know, you guys did. If anybody called something similar, I know Dom said he was an AUD USD. Again, yes, this is super choppy and ugly action today. I don't know if you just executed off this, bro, or if you had taken it, you know, over here. But again, post news, it's just been a mess. Let me just see what's going on in chat. I'm with MFF. I dropped to 0.35 and I'm up like $14. Yeah. So with MFF, guys, if you guys are using my Forex funds for your prop firm and you're trading NASDAQ, don't be scared to drop something over a standard because the contracts on NASDAQ on MFF are 1/10 the normal size. So if you drop a standard, it acts like a 0.10. If you're dropping, you know, 10 standards, it acts like a standard lot, and so on and so forth. So you really kind of have to go a little bit more quote unquote degenerates with the risk sizing on NASDAQ on MFF. So kind of annoying, but yeah, if you wanted to drop a 0.35, if that was your goal, you would have to actually drop a 3.5, and with that contract size, it will act appropriately. So yeah, I mean, it's super annoying. But it's better that way than the inverse of that, and by dropping a 0.35, you know, you're dropping like 3.5. So, yeah, it's just so people don't go degenerate. Yeah, like Devin is a good example of somebody that has to, you know, go crazy on the lot sizes to get the payout that he wants, you know, per points. I'm looking for a U.S. oil buy. Yeah, so Eric, yeah, you absolutely do need to drop 3 standards in that case, if that's what you're looking for. I will go over a few pairs for you guys, I guess. I really wanted to just make this a quick call, so we'll probably only be on here for a few moments as a recap, but I'll take a look at some pairs you guys want me to look at. Absolutely, so let's go through with that, guys. I'll take a look at U.S. oil, since that was mentioned first. He said it's 78,640, so let me just take a look at where 78,640 is. 78,64. Okay. All right, I see what you're looking at. Huh. Wow, oil really did have a down day today, huh? We should have went short on this. We talked about this too. It didn't quite reach where I wanted it to. This did have an interesting day. Got some wicks here that we need to fill, so this is very obvious to me. It's an area that will slip under. Yeah, bro, I don't think I have any changes to make to your trade. I do like this 78.6 area if you were going to go in for a buy. And I would continue to target for this 85. I still would look for this 85. I still would be bullish this to 85. You know, we have a nice sell-off today. There's no volume behind it, so it's probably just going to grab some liquidity and go. So yeah, I like this setup, bro. I do. I probably wouldn't use a limit in this case because I would want to see how it reacts down here. And if we can get the reactions we need, then I would definitely go bullish. But I like the setup, bro. I definitely don't have a problem with this. Can we look at Euro AUD? Yeah, I could take a quick look at Euro AUD for you. Let's see. Let's just zoom out real quick. Let me just delete all this nonsense. Okay. This is a lot of buy volume that we went nowhere on. So we got some buy side absorption. Again, there's a bunch of weak lows here. I will more than likely come for what's this old reaccumulation. Was that this? 147.88. Wow, I'm starving. I really do gotta go eat. 151. No, that's this. Yeah, I would probably look to stay short side Euro AUD. Reason being is you had this nice push above all of these highs here. So you have this nice push above all of these highs. And if we look at the 4-hour and we just look at the volume associated with this, there really isn't any. And then there was no follow through even after this point. As sellers took back control, remain in control. And then if you look at the daily, there is a lot of buying activity here. But if you notice, again, this is the same candle that we took all that liquidity on. So with this much buying activity, you would assume, if the buying activity was legit, that you would have got some follow through to this. The fact that we completely erased this move on less sell volume on the daily and more sell volume on the 4-hour tells me that this is definitely going to continue its push down. So yeah, I would look to continue to short this. Whether or not you're going to get, you know, a nice enough pullback to actually get in before that happens remains to be seen. But again, like, look, you have, you know, relative equal lows. That's gonna get hunted on this. So yeah, I would stay sell side on this thing for sure. Just trying to get the best price I possibly could. But with today's action, you know, you might be a little late on that. So let's see. USD CAD, actually, the premium people also got USD CAD buys that Kyle was in. I don't know if you guys partialed out of those buys, but like, obviously those have kind of come back. Look how choppy this market is, bro. This is so ugly. It's so ugly. This is just an ugly chart on all levels. Yeah, to be honest with you guys, I probably wouldn't touch this. I would probably not touch this for any reason. Honestly, if I had to make a setup for this, I would probably, depending on whether or not these highs here hold, you're probably going to end up slipping this, fill the wick, come back to take this out, and then maybe eventually you can get like another sell. I would stay longer term bearish on this thing. But I don't see any opportunities you could particularly capitalize on. This is a really, really choppy, ugly range. It's not playing at any extremes. I don't trust buying with this little range, and I definitely don't think I would be selling from this price action either. So yeah, USD CAD, honestly, if this is something that you trade, I would sideline this. I wouldn't really be looking at opportunities on this. If you're not already short from more premium pricing, this is not going to work for you. Yeah, and I would stay. I'd want to stay sell side too in the longer term. This is just this is nasty. This is a nasty chart, right? When I look at a chart and I don't see anything clear cut that I would take. Usually I just remove it from my watch list, right? Too many of you are like, oh, I trade USD CAD, so I must find a trade on USD CAD. That's terrible thinking. Sometimes pairs are just not going to be ready in any capacity, and USD CAD is just in that situation for me. Like, I would not touch this thing. This is way too choppy. There's no clear direction. There's no clear liquidity wipes. I would throw that whole pair away. Toss it right off my watch list. Trash. Trash for now. Quote meme buy on gold, intending to hold it. Yeah, we were kind of looking at that today too. I'm sure you caught the buy down here. But, yeah, I don't. This is another one that I wouldn't touch. Honestly, a lot of these dollar pairs, I'm probably not going to touch. Who knows what next week is? Let me put it in the chat if you guys know what's happening next week, right? What's on the calendar for next week? Does anybody know? Drop it in the chat. Let me see how many people are actually aware of the upcoming events and why stuff is not holding to the downside. Let me see. CPI is not the answer I was looking for, but CPI might also be on the docket for next week. Let me just, now I have to check, because that might also be a valid answer. I know we have PMI, CPI for Australia. Do we have CPI for the dollar? Don't think we do. Wait, is this? No, this is this week. Next week, please. I'm looking at the wrong week. But next week is a big week. But there's one thing in particular that I wanted you guys to mention. I don't think we have CPI next week. No, there's no CPI next week. NFP is not the. You guys are not wrong. NFP is next week. But that's not what I'm thinking of. See, look, I like how you all know that NFP is next week, but you don't know the bigger news. Come on, family. Somebody go check a calendar. Give me the correct answer. We not moving on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there you go, family. We got interest rates next week. Forget about NFP. NFP is a day off. Sleep in. Take the night off. Take the day off. Right? NFP is a joke. Right? NFP is a joke. We don't care about NFP over here. But there is going to be FOMC. We do have interest rate decisions. And does anybody know what the expectation is next week? Right? And of course, you guys can cheat by checking the calendar. But what is the market mostly pricing in, family? And we do also have interest rates for the euro as well. Keep that in mind. There's a bunch of rates next week. Next week is jam-packed with news. You're talking interest rates across the board almost. You have the ECB, you have the Bank of England. I think you even have Australian rates possibly. If not, they have, I believe, CPI data coming. There's a lot of news next week. It's going to be probably a shit show of volatility. Unemployment rates next week. Yep, exactly. There's a lot of stuff next week. But who knows that what they're expecting out of the interest rate decision, right? Who knows what the market is pricing in all week this week? Let's see. Does anybody know what it was last time? I'm gonna start with that too. Yeah, so the market is more or less expecting 25. Now, I don't particularly agree with this, but there have been comments from certain Fed members that have said that there's an 80% chance that they see a 25 basis point hike, which would be the first 25 basis point hike that we get out of the Federal Reserve. And that would absolutely signify, again, that they're the continuing easing of rates, which is going to be hard to get a bullish dollar, guys, when they're decreasing the aggressiveness of which they're increasing rates, right? So it will be difficult, again, for a lot of these pairs to sustain moves to the downside. Like, you get these nice little moves, but they're just getting eaten up and absorbed because, again, the market is pricing in the idea that by next week the Fed will be less aggressive on their rates. Now, I know the market is expecting 25. Listen, I would love to see 25. I do think it's more likely that they do 50. I think they should do, personally speaking, I think that they should do 50. And then the next one, they should do 25. Now, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really matter if it comes out as 50, because if they do say the next one is going to be 25, or if they heavily imply the next one will be 25, that's all that's going to matter, right? Even if it comes out as 50, the market's going to be forward thinking again and say, okay, well, if it's 50 this time, next time it's going to be 25. The idea is, though, again, the market highly anticipates the Fed to get less aggressive, which is why the dollar has just been struggling to keep any sort of demand. It's been damn near impossible. Now, who knows what the ECB is doing this week, right? What's the ECB going to do with the rates? And how much are they going to, I'm going to give this away now. The ECB is going to increase rates, right? But who knows how much the ECB is likely to increase their rates by, right? Does anybody know? Anybody know the expectation from the ECB for the euro? If you don't know what the ECB is, the European Central Bank. 0.75? That would be a shock number. It's not 0.75. It is forecasted to come out at 50, right? So we're still in this period, again, where the market is expecting the Fed to decrease how much they're increasing rates by, while simultaneously the ECB is looking to get more aggressive. So with this in mind, guys, there's just no reason really to expect the dollar to find much demand, because other central banks, or specifically the ECB anyway, is continuing to be aggressive while the Fed is leaning off the gas. And if we go take a look at Euro USD, that's why this thing has been holding up so well. And it's why I refuse to let go of my buys from down here, because again, with the ECB getting more aggressive, this thing is only going to continue its rampage up, which is why, again, today, we kind of were in the situation where even though we, caught a sell, the sell quickly turned around, because again, the market is looking forward to all of this news next week. So kind of keep that in mind. The market is looking forward to a lot of things. And a lot of these sells that people are looking at and playing, myself included, are just short-lived kind of noise. So that's really what to expect, for the rest of the week. I don't think these things will do too much in terms of dollar demand. But yeah, next week is absolutely going to be a monster of a week. And we'll just give you guys a little preview now, right, of what that looks like, right? So let's just look at the news here. Let's just go to the high impact stuff. So let's see. You know what's crazy is that some stuff that really is high impact, they don't classify as high impact, and that really annoys me. So let's see. I think it starts on... Is it all on Wednesday? Wow, what a shit show Wednesday is going to be. Yeah, so it all starts on Wednesday. So from 5 a.m., you have CPI for the euro, widely expected to get worse. You have unemployment for the euro. Then you have ADP non-farm employment change. So you have employment numbers that come out, right? Then we're going to move into some manufacturing numbers, and you're going to move into interest rate decisions. Then you're going to move into, some NZD data. And then following Thursday, what are you going to run into? Interest rates again. Non-farm productivity, right? Into Friday, you're going to get that NFP, and Friday's a day off for us, so we're not even going to look at that. But from this moment that the CPI comes out, which again is forecasted to come out higher, what does higher CPI mean, right? When CPI begins to come out higher, family, tell me in the chat, what does higher CPI lead the central bank to do, right? What does that sway the ECB to do, right? When inflation is rising, right? Fundamentally, when inflation is rising, when it's increasing, what is the ECB, what's the European Central Bank going to use that data to do? Right? What is it? What are they going to be looking for? I'm going to sit here and wait. Let's see how many people have been paying attention these past few months. Whoops, let me not put you guys. I'll look at chat over here. Right? That's going to lead them to raise rates, right? Because they want to curve that inflation. They want to get a control. They want to tighten up the money supply, right? Inflation running rampant. They want to get that under control, and they're going to raise rates to combat that. So if we know, again, on Wednesday, that their CPI is very likely to come out damn near 10%, right? From 9.2 to 9.7, right? We know that the Fed is probably going to keep rates the same or decrease. And that following Thursday, they're going to jump from 2.5 to 3%, right? For what real reason do we think that Euro USD is going to go down? Right? It just doesn't make any fundamental sense. Now, there may be liquidations and shakeouts, and there may be some harsh movements just to capture liquidity. But generally speaking, if their inflation does come out at 9.7, and they do a 50 basis point hike, all this is going to do is fuel the fire for them to maybe even go, the 75 basis point route, right? So they might even go a little higher than this, because they've already said they're willing to get more aggressive, right? They've said it. They've said it in their last report. They're willing to get more aggressive. So it's possible this even comes out at 3.25, in which case, again, Euro USD is going to fly. We'll probably hit 110, 111, within the next week or two. So keep this stuff in mind, family, because even though all of these news events are next week, you're out of your mind if you think that big money is not positioning themselves now. They are. They have been. And that's exactly what we see on a lot of these pairs, with just every single area of liquidity kind of getting taken. Now, I do hope, and this is just me hoping, that we do get a little bit of a correction before this happens. I would prefer to see EU kind of spill over into some of this area down here before this happens. Judging off of today, and again, us knowing what the data is already going to come out at, it's going to probably be unlikely. So keep that in mind, family. You guys are going to want to continue to fade off the dollar. If you're taking low risk attempts for sells, just understand the environment that you're in. You're betting against the bigger money, because the bigger money is absolutely positioning themselves for these news releases next week. Higher than expected is good for currency. Yeah, so in terms of CPI, right, in terms of CPI and inflation numbers, higher than expected is actually good for currency. Right, same thing with interest rates. When interest rates are going up, if they're rising, and especially if they're rising in a way that they're getting more aggressive, because if you think about it, the Fed is going to increase rates, but they're going to increase it at a slower pace than previous. So that's not strictly speaking bullish. But for the euro, yeah, higher than expected inflation and higher than expected interest rates are nothing but bullish for the currency. Right? And it almost doesn't make sense. Some people say, oh, well, how could inflation be good for a currency? And it's like, well, because to combat inflation, you have to increase rates. And when you increase rates, you make the holding rate for your currency more appealing. So you would rather hold the currency than assets in that zone. Right? It makes it more appealing for the bigger money to hold and tighten up that money rather than to distribute that out and kind of have it flowing. When rates are low and you're not earning any sort of major interest rate on holding your capital, that's when it makes the most sense to deploy it. Right? So when interest rates are like near zero or on the decrease, it makes more sense to deploy your capital into assets that will actually give you a return on investment. When interest rates are rising, it makes less sense to hold something and more sense to go into cash, because again, they want to tighten up that money supply. So yeah, just a little bit of, again, additional fundamental sauce for you guys, because I know a lot of people are looking at the markets and are just like, why is this stuff, refuse to pull back? Why does this stuff refuse to, break any sort of structure? Why is it so bullish? And this is exactly why, because the bigger institutions and banks are playing the idea of what's going to happen next week. So that pretty much sums that up. I'm going to focus on GJ till dollar pullback. Give me better price for buyers to get in. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. Fundamentals are unpredictable in my opinion. It's actually way harder than it was back then. Fundamentals are not unpredictable. They're actually really predictable. What's unpredictable is how the market will respond, right? So high inflation right now can be good for currencies, but there are points in market cycles where high inflation can be bad, right? These are not black and white. The market will also overprice in certain news beforehand, and they will underprice in certain news beforehand. Certain data will shock, certain data will disappoint. So it's less about the fundamental setup and more, again, about the psychology of the market. If the market overextends EU, like say the market is like, okay, inflation in the Eurozone is getting worse. The ECB is going to do a 50 basis point hike, but there's a chance they do a 75. If the market just begins to price in 75 and just EU starts going bullish and bullish and bullish and bullish and just keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up because everybody's expecting 75 and then it comes out at 50, that's a shock, because now the market has overpriced it. And even though they increased rates, you might still get a negative reaction. And this is what messes people up, is because there are times where the market will pre-price in news more than it should have, or underprice in news more or less than it should have. And that's the unpredictable, quote unquote, thing about news events. But you guys see us do it on here all the time. You see me make wild assumptions about news, specifically around the Bank of Japan and stuff like that, weeks and months before it happens. So yeah, it's not strictly speaking unpredictable. It's just that most people don't know when something is overpriced or underpriced, or if the institutions are playing it, weeks in advance. CPI on NZD today. Yeah, I don't really trade NZD pairs, to be quite honest with you. So I'm not really going to concern myself too much with, New Zealand news. But let me see what they have. Let me just see what it's expected to come out as, just to entertain. Yeah, so New Zealand and Australia both have CPI, and they're both widely expected to... Well, NZD's CPI is expected to quarter-over-quarter fall, year-over-year remain stagnant. Yeah, so it's expected to fall quarter-over-quarter, but stay the same for year-over-year. And in Australia's case, actually get worse year-over-year. But that might just be a misforecast. But again, these are not drastic changes. These are, 0.1%, 0.2% changes. So I'm not really going to concern myself with AUD and NZD too much. Really, again, it's more about what the dollar is going to do next week. But yeah, family, listen, like I was just on here, give you guys a little midday update. Let's go take a look at NASDAQ, see if that's doing anything. Maybe you guys can still get in this position. And just throw this idea away. I mean, on a technical basis, you can maybe still take this, again, if the order block wants to hold. But with the way this day been, you might as well just call it a day and come back tomorrow. Cool. Any questions for me, family? Anything you guys want to get out? Keeping in mind the live sessions, family, as you guys were used to happening here on YouTube, now happen directly on our websites at profitsociety.co/livestream. And shout out to you guys that were on this morning's call. Again, we did catch a nice little, 35 pips or so. But in order to get access to that, you guys do know you do have to be a premium member, which is, to be honest, for the value that you get, super cheap at $129 a month, especially if you guys are trading on the funded accounts. So you guys can jump in there. Let me see. I mean, the amount of people expecting dollar bullish is crazy. I'm not surprised the dollar is continuing bearish. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, a lot of people, again, like, I'm not really looking at the dollar becoming bearish. It's just, for me, at this point, I'm not interested in buying it so high in relation to my other positions. Like, I'm not going to add to my EU buys up here when I'm in EU buys, like, down here. So I'll look for, like, any reason to just kind of hedge those and capture a few pips and, continue riding it out long term. But I do think after we clear, this 109 up into this 110, at that point we might see the dollar be able to pull some strength back in. I just want to be able to get a healthy enough pullback that we can enter. There just hasn't been a healthy enough pullback in a while. And listen, sometimes that's what the market gives you. It is what it is. I'm at the will of them. Okay, so you said a lot of news on Wednesday. Is it preferable to already be holding positions going into news, or wait for the data then enter? It depends on what you're expecting out of the market. With the expectations that we have, we probably want to find an entry and then hold into the news. Right? We'd probably want to look for those EU buy. I mean, like, today was probably your best pricing, honestly. Like, getting the buy down here is probably going to be some of the best pricing you're going to get all week. Unless by some miracle, again, we turn around right here. But this is probably not going to do that. So yeah, you want to be leading up into news. The only time I'm looking to play after the fact is if I'm expecting the news to already be mostly priced in. If I'm expecting the news to be priced in, then I'll look to play it after the fact. But typically, I'm trying to get in 4 or 5 days before the news event. This way, when the news hits, I'm already benefiting and I don't have to worry about playing in the volatility. So yeah, I like to be in before the news, and I like to have my bias with that. Like, again, like, we know what's going to happen. We know the ECB is going to increase. We know their inflation is getting worse. And we know the Fed is going to say certain comments that lead people to believe that they're going to get less aggressive. You put all that together, and you have a bearish dollar and a bullish euro. So it's difficult for me to like, because once all that news comes out, you're not going to be able to get into a buy. The buy is going to be a straight up line. So you won't really be able to play it post news, unless you're just scalping, which again is not the way that I play. Skags, can you do a small session on Wyckoff overview if possible in the future? Yeah, I can consider it. Really, I made a 26 lesson course for that reason, but I could go over some stuff. We'll save that for a different day though, for sure. Like you said, the market has no limit to how long it wants to continue higher. Gold is a good example. Yeah, I mean, so is EU. Like, the market can continue to reaccumulate for a very long time. The market can stay quote unquote irrational for a very long time. Again, these are another one I'm riding, buys on for a very long time here. So, yeah, man, this is why we always tell you guys, most traders are taught how to spot reversals. They're not taught how to spot continuations. Typically, I focus on the continuation because the continuation is where there's money. I mean, if I really wanted to, we could have smacked this at like every major pullback into a liquidity pocket. We could have smacked that there. Probably wouldn't have taken it here. Probably wouldn't have taken it here. I mean, yeah, this is like really the only two entries we probably would have really wanted to take would be like here and here. But again, betting on the continuation is not a bad idea, especially when the fundamentals are on your side. It's 27. Oh, it's 27 lessons? I'm sorry. Whatever. Whatever it is. It's about to be like 75 once I get the psychology, fundamentals, and money management stuff in. It'll probably be closer to like 75 to like 80, 90 lessons. And then if you include case studies, which will be the last thing that I do, who knows how many lessons it'll be. But is it obtainable? It is. Mine is the only one that you could currently purchase through the website. The other boys are kind of slacking, but they'll get there eventually. But yeah, oh yeah, it is 27, huh? Well, it's 26 because the chart setup video it doesn't really count. But yeah, all the Wyckoff stuff is right here, guys. All the basic stuff, which again you could learn. The 4 market cycles, the 3 laws. That stuff is widely available, but again, that's my spin on it. And then all the accumulation, distribution, subcycles, all the execution tactics that we use, my full trading plan, the risk and money management, and then a nice case study. But yeah, it is all there. It should be, again, for me, I could just hit continue and go to it. But yeah, it is there for the people that do want it. If not, keep tapping in the sessions, family. You guys know we're going to give you value no matter what. Whether you paid or free, family, you're going to get value no matter what. Yeah, see, this EU just continues to push. Let's see real quick what NASDAQ is doing. Yeah, NASDAQ just continues to do nothing today. That's a great point. We all were taught how to look for reversals. Yeah, reversals are the most commonly taught thing. People are taught to look at fibs. People are taught to look at divergence. People are taught to look at even if you're a smart money trader, like a lot of it is based on the idea of reversals. Most people are taught reversals when more times than not the market will continue. So yeah, most people are just from the start doomed because they're not taught how to spot proper continuations. Everything is a reversal in terms of standard education, which is just not the right way. My color scheme, yeah. I know people want my color scheme. My color scheme's so basic though. It's not even like it's not even that cool, guys. It's blue. It's blue and white. Like it's not even blue. It's like a weird slate color, like a blue slate, kinda bluish gray. Honestly, it's very close to the default trading view dark scheme colors. Let's see. Thoughts on the crypto market. Have you heard about Binance Swift banking partner sets to ban? Yeah, I did hear about that. I had actually meant to do a crypto live, but I had to do a one-on-one yesterday that I forgot about that I do every Monday. Yeah, so Binance or Swift specifically, and I think it's even beyond just Binance. I think it's actually a lot of crypto exchanges. Swift is actually banning USD transfers over the Swift network from crypto exchanges for anything less than 100,000. This probably shouldn't be a worry for most people because all I think that this is that Swift is just temporarily upgrading into those ISO standards. And if you don't know what ISO 20022 is, you're going to have to just do your research on Google. But for those of you that have heard me talk about this thousands of times over the past 2 years, I really just do think it's the ISO upgrades that are happening, which they have to currently put this stuff on like a hold. So I don't think it's anything to freak out over. I just think they're doing internal upgrades and they're kind of masking it as this quote unquote like ban. What about the UCAD trade? The UCAD, I don't think we're in UCAD anymore. I mean, I never took UCAD. That's Kyle's trade, but I'm pretty sure that we booked partials and that you should have got knocked out at break even. So you shouldn't be retaking a trade days later after it's sent. Could we check Bitcoin? I mean, Bitcoin, guys, is gonna be no different than everything else. I remain very bullish on Bitcoin as well. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin should be very smooth sailing up into like the 28K range. And then eventually the dollar will get its little pullback. So, you know, again, with the way this week is going, again, maybe we go a little lower. But I would expect this to come up into the 28s, up into this area here. And then once we pull back into this range, you guys better start loading up like you'll never get the chance to buy it ever again, because that's probably going to be the reality. So you should be loading up on this thing, loading up. A lot of people think this is a fake rally. They're like, oh, it's a bear market trap. I'm here to tell you this is not a bear market trap. That's all I'm going to say. I'll do an extensive crypto call for you guys one day, but I'm here to tell you it's not a bear market trap. We are on schedule. On schedule. I told you guys over here after the FTX collapse, I said, listen, this is the time. Start loading up every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. And I'm telling you guys, listen, I don't care what your favorite guru on Twitter says. I don't care what your crypto Twitter NFT plug says. I don't care what BitBoy puts out a video saying. I do not care. I'm telling you guys, the halving is approaching. You're approaching about a year, right? We're in January, so you have about a year and 3 months until the halving. Do not make the mistake of not accumulating before the halving. Please, I beg you. If you're going to take anything away from this call, please, I'm going to show you where we are right now. All right, let's go all the way back. Let's go all the way back to like 2020, or not even. I'm sorry. Let's go all the way back here to the 19. This is where you are, family. You are right here. This is where you are. I'm telling you. I'm warning you now. This is where you are, right? So yeah, will we get a nice continued spike up? Clear some highs, yes. And then you're gonna get that one nice, really nice pullback, which will be your last time to get in. And this is the COVID spike, which never broke the lows. I'm telling you, this is where you are in the market cycle. Look how similar this is. I'm telling you. And if you're really smart, you know, you would understand the powers. I'm telling you, that is where you are. It's this. You're in the same part of the cycle. You're sitting in that same area. So. Listen, you guys could do whatever you want. All I'm telling you is you should be preparing. So if we're expecting bearish dollar, that would mean bullish indices, or no? That would mean bullish indices. You're absolutely right. That is exactly what that means, and that is why I remain bullish on Nasdaq. Aside from what I'm looking at on the shorter term time frame. Right, that is why I remain bullish Nasdaq all the way up to 12,800. All right, these are buys I'm still holding. I'm in all of these positions. All right, I'm still holding these. I have positions from the literal low, which is like I can't wait to flex that in a video. But I again, I'm holding buys from 10,400. I'm holding more buys from 10,700 because again, I'm the bottoms are in, whether people want to believe it or not. And I'm fine being publicly wrong if I am. I know I'm not wrong, but if by some miracle that I am, then so be it. But I'm telling you, the bottoms are in. If you're not accumulating, you're doing yourself a massive disservice, and probably like a multi-year disservice, We should just put. You should listen. You should have your cryptos on automatic buys. Stop worrying about the price. Stop saying, "Oh, I'm gonna, I'll buy it if it hits 18K again." No, stop. Just set up automatic buys every week, every day, every month, every 2 weeks, whenever you get paid, whatever it may be. Just begin to accumulate. Right? You don't have to dump your entire savings into it. That's not what I'm telling you to do. I'm not really even advising you to do anything. I'm just telling you what I do. But every day at 3 p.m., it buys Bitcoin for me. Every single day. Every day. It's been doing that for months, since it was all the way at its lows. It's like I literally told everybody when it was all the way down here, I turned on my automatic buys. I'm like, listen, every day. So every candle you see here, literally every single candle from like over here, every day it buys, every day. It doesn't matter the price. But it puts me in up here, don't care. It fell down, cool, it bought more. It fell down, bought more. It fell down, bought more. It fell down, bought more. Bought more. And it's still, to this day, today at 3 o'clock, it's going to buy me more up here. I don't care. That's fine. I'm cool. Because for me, listen, for me, guys, I know where this is going long term. I know. We're going to clear 65. I don't care where I get it down here. None of that makes a difference. Right? And guys, this is not my first rodeo either, right? I've been buying Bitcoin since mid of 2016, right? So literally the first time I bought Bitcoin was at $500, all the way over here. Yeah, no, it's more like over here, yeah, 2016. All right, so like this is where I'm in from, basically over here, right? Yeah, mid 2016, like May. Right, so I'm in from like this area. This is where I first initially started buying, right? So trust me, I'm not new to this. I don't sit here as somebody who started trading Bitcoin a year ago. I'm sitting here as somebody that's been in this for multiple years, and I've never massively scaled out of my Bitcoin position. I've continued to add to it consistently, and I will continue to add to it consistently. But you could see every time there's a halving cycle, spikes up, long-term accumulation, spikes up, long-term accumulation, spikes up, long-term accumulation. Eventually, this will run its course. And, you're either going to be one of the people that take advantage of that, or you're going to be one of the people that just listen to me and never do anything. And you're going to just get added to the list of thousands of people that over the years, pick one side or the other. So I can't stress it enough. I really can't. Like I've been saying it. I will continue to say it, and that's all I'm gonna do. Let's see. Been accumulating Solana, ADA, Matic, and ETH. Beautiful. Love to hear it. I love to hear Matic. You should buy a lot of Matic. Load up on Matic. Big fan of Matic. Matic. Yeah. There's not a single altcoin out there right now with more primed fundamentals for a crazy bull run than Matic. Matic has all the cards. They're sitting on a royal straight flush of developments. I'm talking you have a Facebook/Meta building on top of it. I'm talking you have Google building on top of it. I'm talking you have every major tech company is building on top of Matic. You would be absolutely out of your mind to not be in Matic, especially as somebody that believes in Ethereum. You would be batshit crazy. And full disclaimer, I own Matic from a penny. All right, I bought Matic at a penny. Full disclosure, I'm in it. I hold it. I'm a major bull on it. It's my favorite coin. I'm literally gonna make $1 million off of $500. I'm 1,000% convinced in that. I could not stress how much I love Matic and the developers building on top of it. Like, where can you purchase Bitcoin? There's a lot of places. I mean, where can you not purchase it these days? I mean, PayPal will sell it to you, Cash App will sell it to you, Robinhood will sell it to you, E-Trade will sell it to you. You know, you could probably call up your bank and they'll probably sell it to you. There's very few places that you can't buy it these days. So yeah, wherever you do any sort of your trading or finances, like I can't even think of anywhere that doesn't offer Bitcoin these days, if I'm being honest with you. You know, like you could probably go down the street and go to your like local crackhead, and he'll probably sell you some Bitcoin. Like that's how accessible it is these days. Back in 2016, it was a little harder. You know, every bank was calling it a scam. We were buying it off credit back then because you know certain banks wouldn't even allow transfers. It's a lot easier these days. Like there's 1.5 billion places. Also, if you have Cash App, they have a thing called Boost. Yeah, they give you like a little bit of Bitcoin. Obviously, it's not a lot, but take what you can get. Don't leave your Bitcoin on Cash App. Don't leave your Bitcoin on anything. Buy a ledger. Buy a ledger. Listen, if you guys are gonna listen to me right now. Go to ledger.com. Go to ledger.com and get a ledger. They actually just dropped these new ledger stacks, which are super cool for NFT people. You could actually see your NFTs on them. But get yourself a ledger. Move all your crypto to this. Do not keep it on an exchange. Do not keep it on Cash App. Do not keep it wherever you buy it. Don't keep it there. Move it to your ledger. If you're a serious investor, just come in here, buy a Ledger Nano S. They're like $50. They're like super cheap. Mine is literally sitting right next to me. Yes, get one of these. Store your crypto on this. Don't lose the key to it. You know, secure your shit. Get a ledger. Please, 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 please. If you have more than whatever the ledger costs in an exchange, buy a ledger. Point blank, period. No excuses. What is Matic? Matic is a... I mean, it depends on how deep in crypto you go, but Matic is a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum. It's basically built on top of Ethereum. It makes Ethereum cheaper to transact. It makes it a little bit more efficient. So it's just, yeah, it's built on top of layer 2 for Ethereum. It just makes Ethereum more efficient, which is, again, why a lot of these companies are building on top of it, because they could deploy, you know, contracts and they can do stuff and they can do all of that without the crazy Ethereum fees that, you know, Vitalik can't get under control. So, yeah, my corner store has a Bitcoin machine. Yeah, see, like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like you can get it anywhere. I will say though, family, please, 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 unless you're like depositing sketchy, unclaimed, you know, money that you make slinging certain things on the street, don't use the Bitcoin ATM. They're terrible. They're gonna charge you like $4,000 or $5,000 over the market price of Bitcoin. So if the price of Bitcoin is 22K, that thing's gonna charge you like 27K. Now, again, if you got to do that for certain, you know, money you have, all right, cool, whatever. But typically, like if you have another way to buy it, don't use those machines. Those machines are god awful. You're really gonna get ripped off. Do those have like a capacity? No. Well, no. So they have a capacity, but not like in how many Bitcoin you can store. It has a capacity in the sense that, like if you look, like you see this, like you can manage over, you know, 5,500 digital assets, right? But you can only put 100 apps. So like you can manage 5,500 digital assets, but you can only put 100 apps. So that means like an app is like basically like a wallet. So you could like add a Bitcoin wallet, you could add an Ethereum wallet, you could add, you know, a DAI wallet, you could add a Litecoin wallet, and those all count as apps. So you can hold up to like 100 different coins, but how many of those coins you could store is unlimited, because it's not actually saved on here. There's nothing that actually goes on here. It's not like your Bitcoins are stored on this device. Your Bitcoins are actually never stored anywhere. They're on the network. This just allows you to see what you have in your wallet. It just acts as a viewing portal and an area for you to store your public and private keys. The coins themselves don't like actually live on this device. I could take my device right now and I could throw it in a bowl of water, and like it wouldn't matter, because as long as I have my private key, I could just store my wallet anywhere, because it doesn't actually live on here. This is just like, it's just the access codes to your crypto. So yeah, there's like, you could put, whether you have 1 Bitcoin or you have 10 million Bitcoin, which nobody would ever have, but that doesn't impact it. It's just the amount of apps you could put on there. Getting the key tatted on me. Don't get the key tatted on you. Memorize your key though, and also store it with 2 different lawyers. Let me put you guys on a game. Let me put you onto some real game. Listen, if you really want to future-proof yourself, here's what you do. I'm gonna give you guys some game that was given to me. Right, so when you buy a ledger, right, it's gonna be secured by a 12-word passphrase. If you lose this phrase, for lack of better words, you are simply fucked. Right, so you cannot lose this phrase. If you lose this phrase, you are fucked. There's not a single person that could help you. So what you do if you want to make this super secure is you're going to hire 2 lawyers. And you're going to give each lawyer a document to secure with 6 words each. Right? Both lawyers don't know about each other. Therefore, your phrase is secured legally. Right? So you basically just divide your phrase up into 6 words each, and you could either do the first 6 words or the second 6 words. I'll tell you how I have mine. I have mine alternating. So if my words are like, fruit, basket, ball, house, car, then I'll give lawyer number 1 fruit, and I'll give lawyer number 2 basket, and I'll give lawyer number 1 ball, and lawyer number 2 house. This way, when I put them together, I know just to alternate them. And this is, again, an additional layer of security. And the reasons you want to do this and give it to like a lawyer, especially if you have a lot of money, right? Like for some people, you might be like, I only have like a couple grand. I'm not really concerned to go this far. But if you're like me and you have, again, like I have multiple 6 figures, inside of my crypto portfolio. So for me, this is a big fucking part of what I have to do. I would do it like this, or not even do it like this. Mine is literally like this. And it just keeps it super secure. Another reason you want to do this is in case you die, it can be passed on. Right? Because if you have your phrase and you're the only person that knows your phrase, if you die, goodbye that money. That money is fucked. Nobody's going to be able to get that for you. So when you do this, you can not only secure it for yourself, but you can secure it for future generations, and you could have both lawyers deliver this stuff to the proper people when you pass on. So please, for the love of God, protect yourselves in a way that makes sense. This is like probably one of the most secure ways you could do this. You could even hire 3 lawyers if you don't want to do 2. But yeah, this is the way you really keep your ledger secure. This is the way us, longer term professional people do it, I guess is the word you could use. But yeah, if you guys are not doing this, please do it. It's incredibly important. And dividing it between 2 lawyers is very important too. Because if you just give it to 1 lawyer and you give him all 12 keys, again, this is not saying that your lawyer is a scumbag or something, but they could theoretically, you give that one person all the power to just steal your money, and then there's nothing you can do. Could you take legal action and stuff like that? Sure, but if they steal your money and they fly to like Thailand or something, then you're shit out of luck. So that's the whole reason behind the 2 lawyers, is so the one guy can't be tempted by any degree to just take your bag and go. So yeah, that would be major keys here, please. Is GJ stressing you out? No, GJ is not stressing me out. Very few pairs, quote unquote, stress me out. There's always another trade, bro. I'm not worried about it. So with the wallet holding on it, you're connecting per se your Coinbase. I don't know if I understand the question. So with your wallet holding on it, you're connecting per se your Coinbase Bitcoin wallet. I mean, if you have the Coinbase wallet app, it's the same idea, more or less, because you have a passphrase for your Bitcoin wallet, your Coinbase wallet. But if you're talking about the on-exchange wallet, you're trusting Coinbase with that. You don't have actual custody of it. They also have staking on there. Exactly, you could stake directly from your ledger as well, which is very nice. Yeah, there's only 60 people on this, and I am dropping a lot of sauce. But hey, so be it for those people not on. Mine is 24. Yeah, some of them are 20. Yeah, exactly. Some are 24 as well. Your passphrase will either be 12 or 24 depending on the wallet you have and when you've created it. And a lot of them have went to 24 word phrases as well. But yeah, either 12 or 24. It depends on the asset, the wallet, stuff like that. This is recorded. Yeah, just use the same link. This will always be on the channel. Absolutely. How does a ledger work? So you want like the super technical definition, or you want like the basics? Because the super technical, we'll be here all day. Basically, what a ledger device is, it's basically just an encryption device. So the first time you set up a ledger, it basically encrypts a public and private key, like any wallet when you first create it. And all the ledger does is it just acts as an access point, right? So there's two parts to a wallet. There's the public key and the private key. The public key is the Bitcoin address that you send to people so they can send you funds and all that, right? It's like what your broker gives you to send money to when you guys deposit, and we all know the public address. The private phrase, or the private keys, again, this 12 word phrase that, or 24 word phrase that is connected to that public thing. So all the ledger does is keep that private key secure, and then you just log into the ledger with like a passcode or a password, and then you using the password on your ledger, automatically inputs that really complicated private key and then allows you to send funds. But again, like I'm not going to go super deep into this because unless you know how the Bitcoin network works and how it secures, and unless you know about like nodes and how transactions work, and unless you know what like SHA-256 is, which is the encryption method for Bitcoin, and a lot of stuff that you guys use, there's just no reason to go that deep. But it just acts as an access point for you to transfer funds, store funds, and so on. But yeah, there's tons of videos on YouTube as well that show you guys how ledgers work. There's no reason to go like crazy deep into it today. I'm going to leave you guys with one final thing. Listen, if you're very serious about crypto and you don't want to wait for me, there's only one channel I can't rec enough. And that's this channel here. And I'm going to drop it in the chat for you guys. This is where I learned a lot of what I know. This guy built so much confidence for me in crypto and everything. It's highly technical, but there's so much value in here. And then this guy's been teaching on this stuff for years. So you guys can scroll back and there's so many good videos on here. You really, like, from a technical basis, like, your mind is going to be overwhelmed. There's so much good stuff on my boy's channel here. But, yeah, check this out. Like, is Bitcoin testing governments, Bitcoin origins in the Genesis block, full nodes and home network security, the things about the Lightning Network, if you even know what that is. A lot of his older stuff is really the stuff you want to watch. So you really want to go like really back in time, like this, like why Bitcoin matters, borderless money, energy consumption, the decentralized truth, how do I choose a wallet, what is mining, where can I buy Bitcoin and spend Bitcoin. There's so many great videos in here. I could like the 21 million supply cap, solar energy and mining in space. That's a crazy theory. Mining Bitcoin in space. That's fucking nuts. How do I secure my... There's just so much good in here. Please, guys. This is where I learned a lot of the shit that I know on a technical basis. And it's all free. So you might as well learn from him. Yeah, watch those videos. That's how I learned, family. But listen, guys, that's all I really have for you guys. Hopefully I will see you guys on tomorrow's live trading session. Again, make sure you guys take the opportunity to hop into the Profit Society Premium. I think you guys are crazy if you don't take advantage of what we offer for you guys. But as always, we will be here for free. How often do you plan on doing these midday streams? Probably after every live trading session. So, yeah, we'll probably end up doing these Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, about an hour or so after we end the live trading sessions. So that's how that goes. But listen, family, I'm out of here. This is your boy Skag. I'm tuning out. I'll play some dark techno for you guys as you filter out. Enjoy.